If you are someone who is doubting, wondering where your manifestation is, worried that it's not going to come, or worried that maybe you're choosing to believe in something that is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or delusional, and manifestation can come off delusional. But if you have this burning inside that you want to experience all of your desires, then you're going to want to watch this video today. Hello, my flawless, limitless, or limitless flawless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? It is extremely early morning for me. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm talking a little bit lower because everyone's sleeping upstairs, you know what I'm saying? So I want to jump in. I want to tell you how to literally know, understand, trust, have faith in that whatever you want is yours. It is already yours. And I want to hopefully deepen your belief in this. I want to deepen your belief in this. I want you to trust that this is absolutely working for you. And the only reason why it hasn't so far, because you have decided to be that version of yourself. So that's what we're going to jump into today, okay? But first, some basic bitch. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by. I have 2 channel memberships where I go live exclusively with my channel members twice a week, meaning twice a week as in 2 memberships. So I go live with the exclusive lives group on Tuesday evenings around 9:30 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. That is a zhuzhing only group. We share our successes. We share our tips and tricks. We do not talk your circumstances. However, if you want to ask me something specific about your circumstance, then join the Friday group, which is the hot seat / group coaching. I go live with them every Friday, 9 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. That title, hot seat, is literally what it is. You get yourself in the hot seat and you ask me anything specific to your circumstances, anything. No questions off limits. So yeah, and if you join that group, you have access to both groups. That's not a bad deal. You ask me, not a bad deal. Also, I have TikTok, I have Instagram, I have Clapper, and I would love for you to join me everywhere. If you are new here, hi, I'm Kimberly, and I am obsessed with manifestation because I am obsessed with always getting what I want. Always. It's actually one of my very first affirmations. Everything always works out for me, and I always get what I want. And I'm a master manifester. Those were the first 3 that clicked with me. And since using them, I have always gotten what I want. Maybe you should start affirming that for yourself if you think differently. All right, enough of all that. Let's jump in. Okay, so I'm going to start out this video with a little excerpt from Creation Faith from Neville Goddard. It was one of his lectures. And I'm going to skip around. I'm not reading the whole lecture. I'm reading pieces from it. And I'm hoping to deepen your belief and trust and understand you are so much more powerful than you have been giving yourself credit for. Or really, you know, I think some of us blow off or don't take serious the reason why we are able to manifest. I think some of us maybe, and that's because we're, you know, maybe more logical minded, which I'll be honest, that was me in the beginning of my journey. I was very logical. I was very critical. And I was very skeptical that this stuff was real. Very, very skeptical. You know, until I started seeing some, you know, real physical 3D manifestations, I doubted a lot. I'm happy to say I'm no longer that person. I have completely changed my life, and you can change yours. This ability, this power is not limited to special people in life. It's available to every single one of us. You have been doing it your entire life. You're just not aware of it. And you now are awoke or awakened or awake to that. You're awake to it now. So you have no excuse to not be experiencing everything you want. So I'm going to read a little piece here. So the mystery of creation is to be understood in terms of faith. So what is faith? It is the assurance of things hoped for. Hope. The conviction of things not seen with the mortal eye. Through faith, we understand that the world was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was made out of things which do not appear. So do we understand that most people believe, you know, especially in the manifestation place, that, you know, we're having hope, we're having faith that what we're desiring will be created or will manifest in our world. And don't get hung up on literal thinking or logical thinking. But if we are still standing in a mind of, I hope this works. I hope that I get my manifestation. I hope that I get my specific person. I'm holding on to faith that it will come, or, you know, or creation in general. It's believing in things of the unseen. It's hoping that the unseen will show up in our world. All things exist, and the mystery of their creation must be understood in terms of faith. But faith does not give reality to that which is unseen. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Only in this sense can the meaning of faith be understood. If you have a goal, although it is unseen, it already exists. Your normal mortal eye cannot see it. But by rearranging the structure of your mind, you can see it clearly. If, as the days follow one another, you remain loyal to this unseen reality and your goal is reached, you will have discovered the mystery of creation. So I'm going to Kim that down for you. Basically, what Neville is saying is, it's not about you having hope, right? I'm having hope that creation is a thing that we have access to. I'm having hope that what I want will appear. I'm hoping. No, the idea is loyalty to your unseen reality. Loyalty. What's another way of saying loyalty? Returning to, leaning on, return. What do I say? Return to your decision to be the version of self that has the desire. Well, when we talk about selves, we're talking about realities, timelines. So when we bring up return to your self that has the desire, that is you returning to that specific reality. So the idea of faith is loyalty to that reality. So most of the time I get the questions of, Kim, you know, I'm having thoughts that come up that tell me I'm not going to get what I want, or I'm hanging on to old stories. Well, what does that mean? Where are you putting your faith? You're putting your faith in the seen reality, in the current 3D. Your faith, your loyalty, your returning to, or your decision to return, pardon the interruption, should be the reality that you wish to be in, not just your current 3D. Okay, so he's just, it's to me, I'm thinking this is more of a reminder, as Neville's been teaching this for years. This particular lecture was done the day after my birthday in 1968. I wasn't born yet. But, so, and it's also serving as a reminder, in my opinion, that you are not necessarily creating. You are bringing forth or hopping to a reality where what your desire is already yours. It's already here. Because that which you desire is already created. And some of you, I think, get hung up in the logic. Well, I don't see it. I don't see it with my physical 3D mortal eyes. I don't see it here yet. This is the 3D. I don't see it in my 3D yet. So, what have you been loyal to? What have you returned to? What decision have you made? What version of self are you being? What is the inner dialogue in your mind? You have to ask yourself those questions. Observe your mind. Observe your thoughts. You know, what your dominant thoughts are telling you who you are being. Eternity exists, and all things in eternity independent of your creative act. You may continue to build only upon what your mortal eyes sees and perpetuate the same thing over and over again, remaining forever where you are. But if you know that all things exist through, though unseen at the moment, and you have access to them through your imagination, you can rearrange the pattern of your thinking and change your world by remaining loyal to your unseen construction. And when it externalizes itself by becoming a fact that you may share with others, then you will have found the secret of creation, which is an act of faith. Kimming this down. Most of us, I was guilty of this too. I know you've all been guilty of this too, especially in the early days of my own journey. Most of us get so wrapped up in our literal logical thinking. I don't see changes in my 3D. Specific person has not changed yet. The money has not shown up. I don't see it. I don't see SP here professing his love for me. I don't see this. I don't see the $1 million in my bank account. I don't see it yet. You know, health. I'm not feeling better. The blood pressure isn't down. The cancer's still here. We get so stuck on seeing things in our reality or not seeing the things we desire in our reality that we accept that as our true reality, and we get stuck in our own loop, of consistently starting a manifestation journey, looking at the 3D, deciding it's not working, deciding the manifestation isn't here yet. So we focus on that. We decide that's who we are because the 3D is telling me that I'm not who I choose to be. So I'll keep thinking that. I'll keep deciding. I'll keep returning. I'll remain loyal to the seen reality. I'll stay loyal to my negative thoughts. I'll stay loyal to deciding to be the version of me that is only having what I see with my physical mortal eyes. So I keep manifesting the same thing over and over and over and over, and then wonder why this isn't working for us. We're all guilty of it. So don't beat yourself up for it. But be honest and authentic with yourself. You are doing that. I did too. Faith, trust, belief, loyalty should not be on what you see with your physical 3D eyes. Your faith, your trust, your loyalty should always be in the reality of the unseen. Or another way of saying it is returning to the decision to be the version of yourself that has your desire. That's remaining loyal to the 3D where you know you really wish to be. And it's nothing more than that. Unfortunately, this community has made it such a popular term, you know, self-concept. Fix your self-concept. Change your self-concept. If you don't change your self-concept, you're never going to get what you want. Don't get me wrong. If you keep making the same decision to be the limited version of yourself, the you that is single, the you that is having a relationship you're not happy with, the you that is still broke, the you that is still unhealthy, the you that is not working the job you want to work, yes, you will keep experiencing that. But there doesn't have to be a long-winded healing journey. There doesn't have to be a long-winded, forever repeating, and fixing and repeating and fixing. It doesn't have to be that way for you. This doesn't have to take a long, literal, logical, linear amount of time. You can vertically jump, quantum leap, quantum jump to the reality of your choice, the version of you that has your desire, simply by deciding to and keeping your faith, having your loyalty in that reality, as opposed to your current. I understand that from where you are on your journey, that can feel like a huge jump. That can feel too good to be true. That sounds too easy. Why isn't everybody doing it? Everybody is doing it in their own way, but most people are doing it with their current limited, miserable reality. Everyone is choosing the reality to stay in. So if you have a belief that you need to fix yourself, you need to heal, you're going to have that experience. And it probably will take you a little bit of time. But if you're like me and you don't want to mess around and you just want to start living the life you desire, you can. By deciding to, by understanding who you are, by making the choice to be the new you. Make the decision. Stop making the limited, logical, literal choice day after day after day, moment by moment by moment. Choose. Choose who you want to be. Choose the reality you want to be in. Why are you able to make that choice? Why are you able to just hop to the reality of your choice, as opposed to going on a long-winded healing journey? Now, listen, I just want to say, if you are someone that wants that process, wants to heal your current self, that is always your choice. This is an individual journey. This isn't about what I want for you, right? There's not one way to manifest. So if it feels better to you to stay in the reality you are and have this process take a little bit longer so you can heal your current version of yourself, you absolutely can. You know, we can make the decision to go to the reality where we have our desires more than one way. More than just deciding to be the version of you that has it my way. You can do it through affirming you are that version of self, affirming other affirmations. You can visualize yourself there. You can inner conversate your way there, right? There are multiple ways of scripting your way there. But at the same time, if you have a burning desire to take this and work out healing, then do it. It's your reality. That's your choice. That doesn't make you wrong for wanting to do that. I really, really want to say that because you often hear me say on this channel that you don't need healing. You don't need fixing. You need deciding. But that's because I have a mental idea of everyone wants their stuff now. Everyone wants to manifest now and very, very quickly. Everybody wants their manifestation yesterday. So because I have that in my head, that's why my videos are delivered and geared to that mindset. But Not everybody thinks that way, and I know that too. So this is just my little disclaimer that it's your journey. You can make it look any way you want. You're not going to determine the how it plays out, but you can decide to have this take as long as you want it to take. So, you know, don't blame or shame yourself if you have someone who has been so locked on that thinking, right? You can always do what you want. It's your life. It's your world. It's your reality, right? I'm not the boss of your reality, just like you're not the boss of mine, right? Okay. God tells us he does not create something out of nothing. For all things are, right? Everything is already created. That he calls a thing that is not now seen as though it were seen, and the unseen becomes seen. In other words, if you're manifesting a specific person, if you're manifesting a relationship with a specific person, and you're not seeing it in your 3D, right? God's way of manifesting it. If you don't believe in God, insert the word you do. God just says, I'm in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's who I am now. That's what I think God says. I am the version of myself that's having a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Boom. I'm sure it is instant for God, by the way. But guess what? You are too. You are God. That's who you are. You are your own I am. Every single one of us is God. Or universe, higher power, source energy, higher self. Whatever you want to call it. I call it God because it's just easier for me. But every single one of us is the same God. Individualizing itself or herself or himself into Kimberly. And from there, choosing a specific version of Kimberly. And calls forth the things that he doesn't see, he, she, it doesn't see, and makes it seen by choosing to be that version of him, her, itself. That's manifesting. That's what you're doing and you've been doing your entire life. It's a decision. It's a choice. Claiming, declaring, deciding. Instead of calling something out of nothing, meaning, because everything's already created, seen and unseen, you simply rearrange that which already is until it implies what you want. Then you remain loyal to that unseen reality. Remember what I said. We're having a human experience, and there's days where we fall out of our state. Your state is just who you're deciding to be, your version of self, a specific reality. There are days where we fall out and we fall into old thinking, or we're saying it's not here yet, it's not working. We have days like that. Those are the days you want to return to your decision to be the you that has your desires. If only just affirming, I am the version of myself having exactly what I want. I am the version of myself in the most loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I am the version of myself that has that and $1 million and perfect health and this. All of that is the version of myself that I'm choosing. It's making that decision to be that version of yourself is making the decision to quantum jump your ass to the reality where that is true. What is that doing? That is the rearranging of your mind. It's rearranging what you see in your 3D to make it real. That does not mean you figuring out how it gets to you. No, it is just you deciding that you're not what you see in the mirror version of yourself who doesn't have those things anymore. You're choosing a new thought by deciding you are the version of you that has whatever you want. That's the rearranging of the mind. That is the decision when I say return to the decision to be the version of yourself that has what you want. It's the frequency of how often you return to that decision that is guaranteeing you will experience your desires. It's that frequency. That's the loyalty he's referring to. It isn't hard. It isn't hard. When we are stuck in logical thinking, it feels hard. But it's not. It's a bloody decision. Faith contains a power which can link you to a world where you are eternal. Paul tells us to put our faith not in the works of men, in the 3D, but in the power of God. And no earthly power, be it atomic, megatons of multi-megatons, can compare to that power. Kimming that down, put your faith in your own damn imagination, which is your God connection, your God link, your universe connection. Make the decision to be the you who gets what you want. And don't look at your 3D, your current 3D. Advice from limited peeps in your 3D. Anyone telling you that you can't have what you want. What appears as obstacles to you getting what you want. Don't put your faith in them. That's the works of men that he's referring to. You don't put your faith out here. Nothing out here can get in your way. Nothing is too powerful or too strong to stop God or universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams. Nothing out here in your 3D is more powerful than the God that which you are. You have just been conditioned to believe that. This is where you're letting that go and putting your faith, putting your trust that what you want is yours. Your true, authentic self is the you experiencing those desires. Your desire is coming from within. Don't let anyone tell you that what you desire is an ego desire. Ego is just another false layer to keep you believing in a reality out here, the 3D. It is keeping you conditioned and stuck in the logical, literal loop. Don't fall victim to that. I'm telling you, when you start to let those things go and decide they are no longer true for you, they will fall away and your desires will appear. Talking from experience. Can you conceive of being a power so great that if you desire, you can stop the world? That you can make it stand still and see it as dead? Then release it and let the world continue to fulfill its so-called intentions? Could you deal with such a power by changing your intentions, thus causing the world to be reanimated and do the opposite? That is the power which will be yours when you know you are one with the body of love, called the everlasting Savior. Yeah, I know. He was asking some pretty specific questions. And listen, if you're someone that doesn't believe that you yourself can do that, don't worry about it. The God within can, okay? The God within can. We are all connected through consciousness. Every single one of us is connected to the one consciousness, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. That power, that connection is what is doing the work, bringing us our desires. That is how we are able to, in the lack of a better way to describe, influence change in your 3D. That is how your affirmations, visualizations, scripting, inner conversations are going to your specific person. It is through that consciousness. Contemplate this thought, what I just read to you. On this level, you may achieve any objective and prove to yourself that invisible states, when properly rearranged, will externalize what they imply, for the potency of every imaginal act is in its implication. In other words, in the infinite states, the infinite stage, which are the infinite versions of you, or the infinite realities. Within your mind, the fact that you are God, and your imagination is that God connection, that God power. Within that, you have access to any version, any reality, any possible outcome you have access to. You are that powerful that you can just decide. And this 3D will rearrange itself to bring you what you want. And if that's not your line of thinking, then think of it as when you make your decision to be the version of you, you quantum jump from this reality to the reality, timeline, time track of where you get what you want. See what I'm saying? You're that powerful. You just don't believe it. You just don't believe that because it sounds woo-woo, sounds cuckoo. It did to me too. But as you experience more and more manifestations, you're going to see that it's true. Ask for your own evidence. Ask God. Ask your I amness. It'll be shown to you. Listen closely to your invisible thoughts. What do you hear? What are your words implying? That is their potency. What do you want? Name it and rearrange the structure of your mind to imply you no longer desire it because you already have it. Honestly, there is nothing outside of you in this 3D world that can stop you from experiencing your manifestation. Nothing. You have lived a life conditioned to believe that things can stop you. One of the excuses, one of the phrases that we've all heard, if it was meant to be, it would be. If it was meant to happen, it would have happened. It's just not meant to be. It's not in God's will. Right? You don't always get what you want. The world doesn't revolve around you. Listen to those are affirmations that pretty much all of us have been conditioned to. Maybe not those exact phrases, but something that implied you can't have your desire. Every single one of us has been brought up and conditioned with that type of thinking. Somewhere, somehow, some of us have been conditioned with limited beliefs. And that's not the place to start beating up, blaming, or shaming your caregivers in your upbringing. It's not their fault either. It's what they were conditioned to believe. But you are awake now. So what are your thoughts? Where does your mind go? Are you someone who maybe you think you have been in the state of the version of you who's having what you want? Maybe you think you have been. But there's still something gnawing at you that you haven't seen change out here yet. Well, first of all, your decision to think that there's nothing changed or it hasn't happened yet indicates you're not in that state. However, is there any underlying belief that you're unaware of? Even your beliefs, right? Limited ones or limitless ones, even your beliefs. Just like we change versions of self, your beliefs can be changed with a decision. And it's instant. The change is always instant. It may not feel that way in our physical 3D. But when you make that decision, you go to where you want to go, the reality you want to be in. So if you know one of those gnawing limited beliefs are still chirping in your ear, decide that's not who you are anymore. Make a decision and stick to it. Remain loyal to it. Loyalty to the unseen. Loyalty to the unseen so that it can be seen. Manifestation is a journey of authenticity. So what are you authentically believing about yourself? Who are you authentically believing you are? And if you're deciding who you are based on what your physical 3D is showing you, then that explains why you're not seeing movement, seeing evidence of the new reality, or having the full manifestation in front of you. That is the only reason why. So decide that's not who you are anymore and make that decision. And yes, it is that simple. Talking from experience. Throw out the limited beliefs that you have been taught in this community. This community is flooded. It's flooded at this time. It's a trend topic. I'm telling you, the only thing in the way between you and your desire is who you really believe you are. That's it. So ask yourself authentically who it is. Make the change. Decide to be the version of you who always gets what you want. If that feels too far away for you, that feels too resistant to that, too resistive, then go to the state next door to you. What that state is depends on what feels too resistive to you. But for example, if it feels too resistive to believe that you can just decide to be a new version of self, well, to decide to be the version of yourself that can believe that. Decide to be the version of you who sees evidence every single day that proves you're manifesting, that you're creating the world, or that you're God. Put the focus on being that version of self. Once you're there in that state through your decision, your perspective will change. And what you decide will be made true, will be seen in your 3D. And go from there. It's as simple as that. The answer is never to look in the 3D and see if it's here yet. That's never going to be the answer. You won't be able to miss your own evidence, your own manifestation. You can't miss it. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.